let's do that one together. So 39. You have 18 coins in pennies, nickels, and dimes in your pocket. The value of the coins is $1.20. You have 2 times as many dimes as pennies. Write and solve a system of equations to find out how many of each type of coin you have. So we know that we want to define our variables first. So we can say let P equal pennies, let N equal nickels, let D equal dimes. Okay, and so we know that in total we have 18 coins. So we know that pennies plus nickels plus dimes equal a total of 18. We also know that the value of the coins is $1.20. So make sure you know how much dimes and pennies and nickels are worth. So 0.01p plus 0.05n plus 0.10d equals, what's our total? $1.20. 120. And then lastly, you have 2 times as many dimes as pennies. So that means your dime amount is going to equal twice your penny amount. So D equals 2P. And I think that's the most confusing part, is knowing that. All right, so we have our 3 systems now. My suggestion is, since we have already solved for D, what we can do is we can plug it into the 2 top equations. Another thing that you could do to make your life a little easier is that we can multiply the bottom, or the middle equation by 10, and that'll move our decimal point over. And so, or actually, let's multiply by 100, the whole thing, and then we'll deal with whole numbers rather than decimals. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to multiply the entire thing by 100. So I'm going to have 1p plus 5n plus 10d equal 120. Okay? And then I have my equation before, so p plus n plus d equals 18, and then I have d equals 2p. So, actually, what I can also do is if I use elimination with these, I can get rid of p as well. So we got lots of options on what we could do. So we can start by first plugging in. We could plug in d to these 2 equations. So we're going to have p plus 5n plus 10 times 2p equals 120, and p plus n plus 2p equals 18. I'm going to then simplify those. So 10 times 2 is 20p plus p, so that means I'm going to have 21p plus 5n equals 120. 2p plus 1p is 3p plus n equals 18. So now I have a system of equations with just p and n, so I can use anything I want. I could do substitution. I could substitute this one in here by solving for n. So I'm going to go over here and do that. So I know that n equals, by moving the 3p to the other side, negative 3p plus 18. And I'm going to plug this into the one above it. So 21p plus 5 times negative 3p plus 18 equals 120. And then I have 21p minus 15p plus, and then I'm going to do 18 times 5 over here. It gets me 90 equals 120. I'm going to find 21 and 15. I think that's going to get me 6. Can we still see? Let's move the... Okay, so then I have 6p plus 90 equals 120. Subtract 90. 6p equals 30. So p equals 5. Great. So now that I know what p equals, meaning I have 5 pennies, I can figure out how many dimes I have, because 2 times 5 is going to get me that. And so my dimes is going to be 10. And then I know that p plus n plus d is 18. So 5 plus 10 plus n is 18. So my nickels must equal 3. All right, so that's one way to solve it, but there are multiple ways to do it. Okay, so let's do another one. So let's look at 40. 40 wants us to identify our vertex, equation of the axis of symmetry, maximum, minimum, domain, and range. So we have y equals 2 times x minus 4 squared plus 7. So notice that this is already in vertex form. So because it's in vertex form, we don't have to do the negative b over 2a. It's like ready to go. But what you do have to remember is that for your test, you need to make sure that you are answering all these questions if we ask them. You have to tell me what my vertex is. You have to tell me what the equation of the axis of symmetry. You have to say what the minimum or maximum is. You have to say what the domain is, and you have to say what the range is, okay? So first we're going to do our vertex. So a vertex, remember, is your h comma k. So that's 4 comma 7. Our equation for our axis of symmetry relies on our x value, so you write it as x equals 4. This graph, because the a value is positive in the vertex form, all right, it's going to be a minimum. So you write min equals our y value. Because it is a parabola, our domain is going to be all real numbers. And our range has to do with our minimum and our y value. So remember, your domain is your x and your range is your y. Our range is going to have to do with our minimum. So we're going to say y is greater than or equal to 7. Okay, so then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to graph this. So our vertex is at 4, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so it means our axis of symmetry is there at 4. And then you guys are just going to have to play the table game. Feel free to use your graphing calculator and figure it out. But my suggestion is to have 4, 7 in the middle and be like, okay, well, what's going on at 3? So plug it in. 3 minus 4 squared is, well, 3 minus 4 is negative 1 squared is 1 times 2 is 2, times plus 7 is 9. So at 3, we're at 9. So that means at 5, we're also going to be at 9 because of the axis of symmetry. Okay. There she is. Okay. And then we're going to do some factoring. Let's do number, let's see. Let's do number 45.